So with that being said, speaking of wombs, let's talk about my Tantric Reiki session with EnergyAlchemy1. I've been mentioning it for a couple days. I did it on Tuesday. Wow, today's only Thursday. I did it on Tuesday, but I really wanted to gather my own thoughts and feelings about it before sharing, right? And like a lot of my friends have asked me how to go and stuff like that, and I've been a little tight-lipped about it just because I'm like trying to process for myself, right? And just like harnessing that energy for myself. So I made a post last night. I did a little reel just saying, this is how I feel after my Tantric Reiki session with EnergyAlchemy1. And y'all can see that on my page. I did a little digital art too. And y'all, I can't say enough how effective, not just magical, but how effective that session was. These like, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's fair, right? I had to pull it together for myself first. So we did the Tantric Reiki session, and I will say this. I went in to that session knowing that I had some sacral chakra work to do. Okay. We just talked briefly about how the sacral chakra, can affect business. But your sacral chakra also deals with matters of sensuality and vulnerability. And the sacral chakra rules the ovaries. Okay, the glands that it rules is the ovaries and, of course, the testes in men. So, as I mentioned before, all the herbs that I have are women's reproductive health type herbs. Okay, so over the past few years, I have been experiencing some symptoms of early menopause, and it's like, what? I'm only 43. No. I'm too young for this, right? I ain't no going softly into the night here. I'm not just going to fade out and just let that be. I can't accept that, right? Even though, doctors are saying, oh, this is normal. This is natural. This is common. No. Common and natural is two different things, especially today. In this world that we live in, right? It's not the same. It's not the same thing. Okay? There's so many factors that leads into that there's a reason why so many women are now going into early menopause, right? I was like, you know what? I need to come at this from an energy perspective as well. And I just did some shadow work, right? Looking at some stuff I've been through, things I've been experiencing, looking at my own behaviors and seeing that I was displaying behaviors that indicated I had some sacral chakra work to do. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna go over when your sacral chakra is in balance, what's that look like? Okay, I could do out of balance, but it's so hard for us to admit when things are out of balance. I don't want to ask you to call yourself out right now. So instead of going over the bad characteristics and expecting us to all say, well, I do that, I act a fool sometimes. Let's just say what the good things are. And then if these good things are not what you're experiencing, consider doing some energy work. So a harmonious sacral chakra is receptive, a positive relationship to the body. So feeling good about your body, accepting your body as it is. This can also relate to sensuality because you want to be comfortable with your sexuality and your sensuality and have healthy boundaries there, right? Ability to accept change, sharing emotions freely and with ease, being nurturing, ability to express feelings and desires, ability to be creative and see different perspectives, ability to let go, friendly, calm, and kind. You know if that's you or not. Doing things for pleasure and enjoyment, indulging in creative activities, and following through with creative ideas. Feeling joy and passion, feeling positive about life, a regular menstrual cycle, abundance, open, awareness of the need to nurture appetites, desires, and ability. I'm gonna stop right there. Awareness of the need to nurture appetites, desires, and ability to know when enough is enough. Okay, so this one is deep. Okay, this one goes right back into what we were just talking about with the weight loss, because I'm gonna start with the food. Let's say nurturing appetites for food. You have appetites for all type of things, but start with the food and knowing when enough is enough with the food, right? If you're overeating, this is a huge indicator that your sacral chakra energy is off, okay? You'll see in some recent posts that I have developed some mantras for weight loss, and this is what I'm talking about, mantras for weight loss, okay? So there are certain mantras you can use, and when I say certain, I mean particular to you, particular to whatever's really bothering you that's causing you to overeat, right? And then we look at that, we figure out what it is. That's when we go in, we may pull some cards to help you figure it out, right? And then we're going to develop some mantras to help you deal with that issue and stop the overeating, okay? Now, and like I said, I definitely did that work for myself as well. And Dee will tell you, because we talked in depth about it. But there's a particular mantra I did for myself that helped me to stop overeating. Because there was a point in which I was like, okay, I'm eating healthy, but I'm still eating too much. Like I'm full, but I'm still eating, right? Or eating too often, eating too big of portions at one time, things of that nature. Because you can't eat healthy things, but still eat too much, right? The work. Shadow work. We were talking about this last night. Shadow work. This is shadow work. So another appetite that can be off is your appetite for sex. You can either have no appetite for sex, or you can have your appetite can be out of control. Like you want sex all the time, right? And not able to draw boundaries and know when enough is enough. Or having sex with people that it's like, I don't need to be intimate with this person, but I just need to get this relief right now. Sacral chakra imbalance, okay? Now, emotional stability, ability to comfortably express sexuality and sexual desires, comfortably expressing it, not feeling shame about your sexual desires, able and willing to honor own sexual boundaries, right? So that's being able to say no when you need to say no, and not, feeling like you're supposed to do something because that's what somebody wants you to do, but you don't feel comfortable and you're worried about your safety and all this, worried about your health. Don't put yourself through that. Don't do that. Sacral chakra imbalance. Allowing oneself to feel, so like, numbing your emotions, not allowing yourself to experience your emotions. I was dealing with that before doing this tantric Reiki thing. When the last time I cried for real? I'm going to say probably 10, 15 years. Now, I will say, I don't think I'm just naturally a big crier, but I envy people that can just cry at the drop of a hat because it's cleansing. It's cleansing. Mine, I tend to do more through like my energy work, my, shadow work, all that type of stuff. I'm not a big crier, but after my tantric Reiki, I do understand that, hey, it's not just because of sacral chakra stuff. My sacral chakra energy is so much better. I feel so much more released and relieved. But I still didn't have a whole lot of tears. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I can accept this about myself. I don't need to be a big crier. It's okay. When I need to cry, I'll cry. But I'm very good about acknowledging my emotions and allowing myself to feel my feelings. I can remember years ago, I did not allow myself to acknowledge or feel my feelings. I didn't. I just keep it moving, just keep going, stay in survival mode. And lastly, a person who has a harmonious sacral chakra is supportive in a relationship. Some of us are not capable of being supportive. All we're thinking about is what that person needs to do to support us. But when our partner expresses what they need in order to feel supported, it's like, that doesn't resonate. And if that's the case, you could have a inharmonious sacral, and it could also be that you're with the wrong person, that you're with someone that does not, inspire you to want to fulfill their needs. Could be that as well, because they're not fulfilling your needs. But anyways, now back to this Tantric Reiki session. I was like, I've been doing my own energy work on my sacral once I realized that, okay, I'm having these, symptoms because of sacral chakra imbalance. I started doing my own energy work, which maybe I'll talk about another time, for my sacral chakra balance. But I got to a point where I was like hitting a wall. I made like a lot of progress, lots and lots of progress, which maybe we'll talk about that at another time. But I just started to feel like, I'm only getting so far. And that part of the issue is that there needs to be some divine masculine energy brought into the picture. And notice I didn't just say masculine, not just masculine. I said divine masculine, right? To activate that divine feminine, right? So that is called polarity. Those two opposites that need to come together and activate one another, right? So I was like, ooh, I need some of that type of action, right? So I started to speak this. No sooner than I started to speak this, a guy came into my life that does possess that divine masculine energy, right? And it was like when I wasn't even expecting it. I met this dude on some other stuff, right? I was a client of his for some business that he does. And we met, we was like, okay. So he started coming around me. We decided, we're going to spend more time together. So within establishing this bond and having interactions with this guy and his energy, I started to be able to make more progress with my own energy work, with my sacral chakra, right? So exciting. It was just like, oh, thank you, God, right? So anyways, that started to get some of that energy moving, okay? Then I started to say, I was talking to that friend, because I told him, I was like, oh my God, you have a potential to be a great healer and a good energy worker. I had done a reading for him, and by the end of, this was the first reading he ever had. By the end of his reading, I think we did 5 cards, and the last 2, he was reading the last 2 on his own. I was like, look at you. You could be an energy worker. You got, you're gifted. So, Sunshine, if you're still on here, say something about the reading that we did with you. Was it good? Did you enjoy yourself? Was it accurate? Make a little comment. But it was his first one, and he was reading the cards himself. So I was like, ooh, I see potential. You could be an energy worker. And I started talking to him about how important it is for Black men to be in energy work. There are so many Black women that need to have a healing experience with a Black man. And we see all the chit chat, all the trending chatter. Thank you, Sunshine. She said, yes, it was extremely accurate and on point. Thank you, Sunshine. D, if you still on here, if you could make a comment about the entrepreneur coaching that we do, it's how you feel about that. I'd appreciate it. So anyways, coming in contact with this gentleman, I forgot you working. Driving. She's driving. coming in contact with this gentleman, I started just from some of the affirmations that I got from him. I started to get that energy moving, but also I noticed that I was getting these wonderful affirmations from this guy, and I found myself wanting to be like more vulnerable with him and not able to be more vulnerable with him. And I was like, what? Really? Me? Not able to be vulnerable? Are you kidding me? Like, I'm so transparent and like vulnerable with people all the time. But in this very intimate space that we had created within our friendship, I was not able to be vulnerable with him the way I wanted to. And I was like, oh, I got some work to do. So I kept on talking with him. I talked to my son. And then I mentioned to another friend, Self-Care Boss, who's, check out her page as well. And recently did an interview with her about love attraction. So we're going to do some more talks about attracting love, manifesting love, step-by-step details, right? I was talking to her, I was like, man, we need some more black men and energy healers and yada, yada, yada. And she pointed me toward EnergyAlchemy1. Didn't know the man was in Nashville. Dee says it was a great and loving reading. What is this? So, long story short, scheduled the session. It was wonderful. It was amazing. Tantric Reiki. Book his Tantric Reiki session. EnergyAlchemy1 is his name on Instagram and YouTube. You probably already know him. But let me tell you, the man is powerful. Okay? The man is powerful. Got my energy moving. Helped me to like, y'all, it was damn near a whole exorcism. That's the only way I could describe it, like a whole exorcism. Like, I felt like so many things were released, and not even in the sense that I'm the type of person to hold on to stuff. I be clear, I had released as much as I possibly could on my own. So many things I've experienced in my life. I've done therapy. I'm very open, and I talk about that. I've done years of therapy. After being widowed at 26. 26? No, 20. Yeah, 26, because I was turning 27 that year. And, just so many other things, I had been through or whatever. Had a bad breakup from a unfulfilling relationship last year. Like all these different things, I was working with myself. Felt good about it. Feel really good about it. But I realized that there are certain things you can only heal from through love, through experiencing love. And it doesn't have to be romantic love. I'm talking about the life force, the life force, the energy of the universe is love. The universe is powered by love. Right? So us energy workers, we're really powered by love. The love of the creator for his creation. Right? And we're able to impart that to our clients and target it in ways that the client needs. People who are powerful energy workers and are really good energy workers that are able to help people heal are very loving and kind and compassionate people. And when I met this guy in person and he greeted me and gave me a hug, you could feel the love just pouring off of him. It was just wonderful. His energy felt just like my son. And I told him that. And I was like, dude, you feel just like my son. No, he's probably like, she's a weirdo. But his energy felt just like my son. My son is also an empath, right? And my son's also like a big guy, like a grizzly bear type of dude. Great, just gives really good hugs. So, anyway, we had this really powerful session. I definitely received even deeper third eye activation. And while he's doing his work, I started to, do some of my own work as well. Not that I'm saying I recommend that, but it's what happens, right? So, it was just like the energies working in tandem, like I said, definitely received even deeper third eye activation. Definitely received some heart chakra healing. Definitely received sacral chakra activation. I'm gonna tell y'all, and this I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. At one point, he was down by my feet, and I think his hands were near my ankles. And I put my own hands on my ovaries because I'm going into this session with the intent I am going to get healed. My ovaries are going to be electrified, going to be activated today. I'm going to leave here fertile like a mug, right? Yo, I put my hands on my ovaries, and on my left side, I felt a bulge, it felt like about that big, rise up into my palm. A bulge, like a physical, I could feel it rise up into my palm and go back down. On my right side, I felt a flutter. And when I thought about it later, back when I was having more issues with my cycle, because there was a point at which my cycle would be like 10 days or more. That is not normal. I'm going to say it again. That's not normal. Even a 5-day cycle is not normal. When we're at peak health, your cycle can easily be 1 day. When you are eating clean. You can have a 1-day cycle. Even a 3-day cycle is better than that 5-day stuff. But I've been able to eat clean enough to get to the point where it's a 1-day cycle. Queen of Fua said you can get it down to like an hour or two. And I've also heard Crystal Alkaline Doula say that too. Goddess Collection is her herbal teas. If you don't have to go buy all the herbs, Goddess Collection is wonderful, amazing. I would definitely recommend her, and Sunshine is the one to put me on to her. So anyway, I felt that bulge rise up into my palm. When I think back on when I was having all these issues with my cycle, I would have more pain on my left side. And I thought about that after the session. I was like, something was being corrected there. Something was being healed there. Okay? I don't know what the flutter was on my right, but it may have been something that wasn't discovered yet. Who knows? But I also felt a flutter in my chest, right in my heart chakra area. Okay? And that really makes sense to me because the things that I had experienced that was causing the sacral chakra imbalance was very emotional for me. Heartbreak, disappointment, things of that nature, right? So he was definitely able to get that energy moving in a way that I had not been able to because of the divine masculine energy. Okay. And I definitely feel that I will be able to be more vulnerable with my guy friend that I said was giving me all these great affirmations, right? And giving me the type of energy that I normally put out, so, which is great. And also further evidence that my love attraction work is working. My love attraction work is attracting, honey. And, I'm experiencing all types, different forms of love in my life. Right? So, anyways, super excited. After he left, and I'm gonna wrap it up. After he left, because in this case, because I have commercial space, I have a salon, I suggested that we do it here. And he came here, and after he left, y'all, I sat right here in this chair, and I started to pull cards. And I asked 3 questions. Y'all, I started to pull cards because one of the things he suggested, he was like, pay attention to your dreams and do some journaling. Do some journaling. I said, okay, I'm going to pull some cards now and see what's changing for me. I'm going to ask some questions about some transitional changes that I'm, making in my life, and just, looking at exactly which way to go with them. I started pulling cards, y'all. And recently I've developed a practice of when I do my own readings, I write down the details of the readings. I write down the date, I write down my questions, and I write down what the cards were, what the cards represent, and the answers that come from the cards. Y'all, I sat here and did that for 5 or more hours. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask him what time do he think he left. I think he left around 1. I sat right here journaling and, writing based on my reading. I sat here until 6:45. Okay, several hours. Just sat here writing how I felt, writing, okay, this card, it confirms this that I felt in my reading, in my session with EnergyAlchemy1. It revealed, what's changing for me now. Remember I said I received a further third eye activation. One of the cards was a queen sitting on her throne with her crown on, with her third eye open, holding a wand and staring at the wand, looking at the wand. She was in total command of everything around her, but she did not take her eye off of that wand, off of the spirit realm, okay? So, listen, that reading was so on point, but I sat here for hours and I didn't even realize that I was in total silence. I didn't have no music, no nothing on. I didn't realize that until I got up and left the house like 7:15 to go find food because I was starving by that point. And when I got in the car and I turned on music, I was like, wait a minute. I've been sitting in silence for all these hours and didn't even realize it. I got 14 pages of journaling. 14 pages of journaling about my experience and about my reading. I highly recommend this to anyone, any woman who is struggling. I think you may be struggling with sacral chakra imbalances since we had this conversation. If some of that stuff we read off sounds interesting or sound familiar to you, a great way to start, for me, it was one of the last things I did because I had a lot of other tools at my disposal. I know about, herbs. I'm already, studying herbalism. I started that a couple years before the pandemic. I already know about, how to eat to live, Sacred Woman, Heal Thyself, all these other tools that I have at my disposal just because I love to study and that's what I like, and I'm an energy worker. So, I got other, tools at my disposal. Things just come to me intuitively, and I'm in the habit now of listening to my intuition. So I'll just Google, if I hear an herb or a certain food just randomly, I'm gonna Google it and I'm gonna act on that, right? So I had a lot of other tools at my disposal. But if that's not you, I think this session is a great place to start. It's a great place to start to get that energy moving. And you can decide from there what to do. But when your chakras are balanced, when your energy is moving freely through your energy centers, or moving better than it was, you can hear better. You can hear in your spirit better what to do. And you're going to be more open to making changes. Remember, one of the things that we talked about on that list of signs of a harmonious sacral chakra is adapting to change better, right? Accepting change. and letting go of things you need to let go of. And having, I'm just doing a caveat here, toxic relationships is one of the things that can cause sacral chakra imbalance. You know? Yes, he's in Nashville, girl. EnergyAlchemy1. EnergyAlchemy1. Yes, he does distance work too. Girl, I'm so glad you asked. He does distance work too. Yes, he does. What do you and your friends all at the same time? Listen, girl. You know what? It's just, there's nothing more powerful than I'm gonna say, go ahead and say, a black male energy worker. Somebody who is working in their divine masculine energy and has studied how to use it, right? Studied how to use it. And a lot of times, you know, I would say this, I believe everybody is empathic. You have the capability to be empathic. You have the capacity to be empathic. But you got to lean into that. You got to want it. You got to have compassion for others to even want to do this type of work, right? And that will awaken that gift in you when your heart is right. It will awaken that gift in you. And once you hear that suggestion from the universe that, oh man, maybe I have a gift that I can activate and use to help people. And once you say yes to that, and lean into that, you will discover that you have a raw gift. Now, with that raw gift, you have to develop a gift into a skill. Just having a gift ain't enough. A lot of people have a gift to do hair, but if they don't develop that into a skill, you're going to have a lot of bald-headed clients. I'm just using that as an example. A lot of people have gifts, but who takes the time to develop that into a skill? EnergyAlchemy1 did. I'm going to tell you that right now. Try it. If you are leery of something like that, I feel like that's like on the heavy and deep end. In my opinion, somebody else may be like, oh, that's normal. Listen, to me, I'm just in the last few years, discovering more of what all exists out here. The more I have accepted my gifts and said yes to using my gifts. Okay. So to me, in my mind, that is a more, I'm going to say, rare gift. To me, that's extreme. You know, being able to project your energy virtually and heal someone's body in this way. You know, that's deep. And I want to learn. I'm already a student of naturopathic Reiki in general, but I want to learn tantric Reiki myself because I do realize that sexual energy is healing energy. Sexual energy is healing energy. But a lot of men that we see out here, I'm going back to that, you know, have that capacity to be an awesome healer. But they're channeling, you know, using that energy in other ways, right? You're doing a lot of other things with that sexual energy. That's healing energy. But because we have such little space in society for men's emotions and for men to tap into the divine energy, we don't make space for that. The acceptable emotions for men to display are horniness and anger. That's changing slowly but surely. But when you look at this, you know, predominant male archetype that has produced toxic masculinity, the predominant, you know, the main accepted emotions are horniness and anger. And if anything other than that, then they're going to be calling you, you know, oh, you funny, oh, you gay. Like, stop it. Stop it. So a lot of these men are running around here using that healing energy as only purely sexual energy, feeling drawn to women, feeling, what they're really sensing is that they can heal her. But because you've not been exposed to this type of information, all you see is, I feel drawn to her. That must mean I gotta have sex with her. And vice versa. Guys, listen, since I started developing, accepting, really working in my energy work, I can really understand more that a lot of times when men and women, pay attention to this. When a lot of times men are drawn to you, not to say that you're not beautiful and attractive and all that, I'm not saying that. But a lot of times they are sensing that they can receive a healing from you. And it's that energy, that big boom energy, is 19 Keys says, that's actually drawing them. Right? And it's like, because we haven't been educated, we're, out of touch with our ancestry and with our divinity. We always interpret that as sexual energy. It must just be that we're drawn together in a sexual way. And it's not purely that. There's some healing that needs to take place. And on a very primal level, on a spiritual level, you all can sense, I can get healing from her. I can get healing from him. So you're brought together, but because you don't have the skill, we don't have the self-awareness. It's like, all that happens is a smash. The smash. Okay. I don't know what else to say about my experience. It was great. I do feel I received my crown. On my digital art that I created last night. It was really simple. I was working with Canva, but I just created a little image that expressed how I felt, how I feel after my experience. I got my heart. You see my heart chakra glowing. You see my throat chakra glowing. He definitely did some work to open my throat chakra. Which, watch out, world, because it was already open. Yeah, I saw that. I created that, and I put the Ankh right here in the middle. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. I put the Ankh right in the middle. And if you go back and look real closely at it, it's kind of breathing. It's pumping, right? And that just represents that divine masculine, divine feminine coming together to activate, one another. And that's what the Ankh represents, the divine masculine and divine feminine being one. So I was glad to have contact with a man that's in touch with his divine feminine divine masculine, and knows how to intentionally use that for healing purposes. Okay. I also put the third eye right there on the picture, because I got my third eye activation. And I put the purple, the lavender orb at the top to represent the crown chakra. I was looking for a crown, like a real crown. So many of the cards that I pulled, all of them was like royalty, royalty, royalty. Receiving a crown. All of them. And I wanted to find a crown, but I couldn't find one that would work in Canva. I wanted like a crown, like caught. But yeah, anyways. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to share that. Very personal experience, but it was so wonderful and so powerful that I want as many people as possible to experience this. And that particular type of work that's called polarity work is, male to female. A female can do it for a male and males can do it for females. But it's not something, Thank you, sunshine. I'm so glad, girl. I'm glad you was on here, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you some more. We're gonna have a good conversation on here. Let's figure out when we can get together. I'm gonna DM you my phone number because I don't know if you still have it, but we can figure something out. So, anyways, Y'all, do it, do it, do it. That's all I can say. I also do chakra balancing work. Now, I can only get you so far. Women, I can only get you so far because, I'm not embodying no divine masculine energy. You need that. Those opposites need to be there for full activation. But I can get you rolling in the right direction. I'll get you rolling in the right direction. And definitely, help with some stuff. But more drastic. There may be some things you experience this like, you're only gonna get that far with some divine masculine energy. I'm gonna keep it 100. One thing I'm not gonna do is front ever. I'm gonna tell you the truth. So, anyways, highly recommended. Again, I am doing energy work for entrepreneurs, visualizations, readings, customized mantras, all the above. I'm also a certified sound healer, and I'm working on getting my audio equipment together so that I can do it online. I want to be able to do it live. Like I said, my goal is to have all my audio, I'll have all my energy work virtual. So, more to come on that. But also do relationship readings, couples readings, spirit guide readings, which is, someone, if you have a loved one that is passed on, you can get a comforting message, some guidance from them. Let's see. I feel like I'm leaving something out, but anyway, I got posts about it, so I'll look at my posts. Oh, and then I mentioned earlier the weight loss mantras. So, anyway, love y'all. And I'll come back on soon. I'm trying to start, cutting the talks down because this ain't YouTube. But I am launching a YouTube channel, so let's have some talks on YouTube as soon as I get that going too. Both the ladies, okay? All right. Mwah, mwah. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Bye, sunshine. I look like the Buddha now.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood. Evolution, you believe. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm illuminated.
I look like the Buddha now.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood. Evolution, you believe.